Well, Chris, it only seems like recently that you met up for the first game in this campaign against Moldova. You must be really excited ahead of these 2 qualifying games now.
Yeah, absolutely. We got off to a great start. It was all about that first game you want to win. You needed 3 points just to get the ball rolling. And same as the last campaign, was the only game where we said to the players, no matter how we do, we've got to win the game. We've got to get the 3 points, and we did that. I thought the players were fantastic in their approach. It was a convincing win against a team in Moldova. Although they don't win many games, they don't really get beat 4-0. It's always 1-0 or 2-1. They always make it difficult. But our players on the night, and the atmosphere as well in Cardiff was brilliant. The supporters again were absolutely magnificent. So long may that continue.
Was it even a better start than you even hoped for?
I would have taken 1-0 because I just wanted the 3 points. The fact that we got 4 goals, we were really dominant and controlled the game from start to finish, really. That was really pleasing because now we're looked at slightly differently, whereas before teams would have probably looked at us and thought, they can get 3 points off us. Team come to Cardiff now and they'll be happy to take a point, which means their approach will be different. They'll be difficult to beat, harder to play against, harder to break down. So we've all these factors that we need to take into consideration in our approach, in our planning, which is interesting and exciting. And these next 2 games, Austria away, Georgia home, just as hard as each other for different reasons. But it's nice to be in the thick of it again and back in the beginning of a campaign. It's the beginning of an experience that we're all involved in, we're all excited about, we're all a part of. I'm saying we're all, I mean myself, my staff, the players, the nation, our supporters who follow us home and away have been fantastic. And it's the beginning of another challenge that we must meet to continue the success we've had over the last 2 or 3 years, and I am excited about that.
You just touched on the supporters there. Over 4,000 are heading out to Vienna next week, and the game against Georgia's sold out a couple of weeks ago. That you must just be so proud of that.
I am. I'm proud to be a part of that. And I think it's not just, when you win games and you get a bit of success. I think it's in the nature in which we've won games, and it's in the nature in which this current crop of players approach playing and representing their country. And I think the nation has recognised that and bought into it and respected what these players are doing and how they play for Wales, because there is an identity there and you can't manufacture it. It has to be real, and it is, and that's all to do with the players and their approach, and that's it's nice to be a part of that. And I think we all sense that this is a very, very good team. They've proved that in the last 2 or 3 years, but we're all excited because we know the next challenge is a huge one. It's a massive one, and we're excited to see what happens. And the whole nation are behind the team, so that means we need to produce the same performances and the same intensity when we wear the red jersey as we have done. So what we've done to get them excited, we've got to keep doing that, keep them excited, keep them with us, because one thing goes with another. And like I said, this campaign, it's not 10 games, it's 5 games. We've got to be up there after 5 games where all the interest in Welsh football is still there. And if we are, I'm sure it will be. And the second part of the campaign will be very, very interesting.
Do you think these 2 games now against Austria and Georgia maybe represent one of the toughest tests in the group? One home, one away, but 2 games in the space of 3 days is going to be tough for any squad.
Yeah, they're always tough. When you have 2 games so close together, it's always a tough ask, and some of our players are not playing first team football at their clubs, then expect them to play 2 90 minutes in the space of 3 days is never ever going to be easy, and actually it's not possible for large parts. That's where the squad comes into it, but there's no excuses from us. It's like I said, the 2 games just as hard as each other for different reasons. And we've got to have that same approach. We've got to go to Austria the same approach as we've shown in every game we've had, really, in the last campaign, in the tournament. And that is, as soon as we get the jersey on, nothing else matters. We empty on the pitch, we leave it all on the pitch, because we can't legislate for a poor decision from the referee that's going to cost us. Somebody may make a mistake, not because it's intentional, it happens. We've just got to have the same mindset as we've had, and that means we're going to walk onto the pitch and give everything we've got, stand up for what we believe in, express ourselves, go and try and score as many goals as we can, have that dogged mentality when we don't have the ball. And when we do that, then, you know, we're a tough 90 minutes for anybody, as teams have found out when they've played against us. So I'm excited. You know, it's going to be tough. We know, yeah, they're all tough. We must remember, sometimes you've got to put yourselves in the opposition's boots and look at us, because they'll be thinking this Welsh team's a good team. So we can't be going there to disappoint anybody.
And they've got something to prove as well. Austria had a disappointing showing in the Euros by their standards, but on paper they're a very good side. Yeah,
you know, the Euros didn't go the way I think they expected it to go. The campaign to get them there certainly did. 9 wins, 1 draw is fantastic, you know. But this is a different campaign, and now we're a different team to any of the teams they faced before. So we'll just concentrate on our own stuff like we always do. We know about Austria. We know they've got good players playing at the top level. We know about their results and their record. All that's out the window. No matter where we're in the top 10 in the rankings and they're 20th, wherever they are, they'll all be on Thursday night in Austria. It doesn't matter. Whatever else come before is out the window. It's all about that game. So who's ready to bring it, who's ready for the 90 minutes, who's prepared for it, who's brave enough, and that's what it'll be about.
And games against Austria and Georgia are significant for yourself personally. I believe your Wales debut came against Austria in 91, and less significantly a 5-0 defeat in Georgia in 95. Maybe a bit of retribution for yourself.
Yeah, I think nice of you to mention the Georgia game, which was a tough one in Tbilisi. Yeah, the first game was my debut for Wales against Austria, and it was I've still got the jersey. I had it framed and I gave it to my parents straight after the game. So yeah, that's one that sits in my memory, lodged in there. I managed to got the equaliser about 5 minutes towards the end of the game. It was fantastic, great experience. And I remember the atmosphere was wonderful. You know, it was a full stage, 40 or 50,000 there in Vienna. Great atmosphere, good game. So I'm looking forward to going back.
Just finally, we were unbeaten at home in the last qualifying campaign, which set us well on the way to France. We've only lost once competitively at home since September 2013. Home form is going to be crucial in this campaign as well, and how much are you keen to make the Cardiff City Stadium a fortress again?
Yeah, we've got to just continue in the same vein, on the same path. I said it in the tournament, whenever the expiry date for us was in the tournament, it's not the expiry date for this group of people, for this team. You know, that was an experience in the tournament. This team's going to march on, keep going, and it needs to. So we're in a new campaign. So we're just building again. And whilst we can all look at a tally of points, what's needed, home or away, we mustn't stray from the formula. And our formula is we always try to look after the performance. That is the challenge for us. Hopefully the points come with the performance. They don't always, unfortunately, but you don't stray away from what you believe in. So, you know, we'll be looking at every time there's a game in front of us, it's all about our preparation. And we take care of that, take care of performance, and then normally that takes care of the results. So we won't stray from that. That's what we've done in the last 2 or 3 years. It's what served us well, and that's what we must. Because once we start wondering about Cardiff City being a fortress, and we want to turn it into a fortress, it is a fortress. You start wondering about we've got to win the game, get the 3 points. You stop thinking about all the things that makes you a good team, you know. And we must never lose our concentration on our preparation and what the game plan is. It's all about the game plan, and we've got to stick to that.